Welcome back. This is Healthy India, and today we are talking about heat-related illnesses. So if you think that you have something in your mind regarding this condition, this is your time to call us on 1800115314 or 23035420. Having said that, we are joined by Mr. G.N. Rao from Tamil Nadu. So welcome to this show, Mr. Mr. Rao.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I am of the opinion that a clear message to parents of school and college-going children that they all should totally avoid adulterated fruit juices which are artificially chemically flavored, and also the law enforcing agencies are supposed to do their duties so that this problem can be solved. Thank you.
Absolutely. I think that's a very good point that you've made. Coming to you, Dr. Khaitan, now this is also again a time of the companies to advertise their deodorants and their antiperspirants and perfumes and what have you, that this has more gas, this doesn't, and all that goes on. Now, how effective are these for a person?
Well, again coming back to sweating, because sweat per se is odorless. It doesn't have any smell. When it comes on the surface, particularly armpits, etc., then there are commensal bacteria. What we call commensal means they are already there on our skin. And they are usually harmless. But because of that combination, with time, say a few hours or so, there can be some smell in in the sweat. Now, deodorants may have some perfume, may have something else, but one thing which it does, that it blocks and it stops sweating. And in summer we need sweating. So it is antagonizing what is the basic physiology.
Okay.
So if somebody has to use perfume to reduce the smell, that is fine. But deodorants directly coming into contact of the skin, again it is, I mean, the general myth is deodorant should be used, but I will say it should not be used. Better to take bath twice, or if required even thrice.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to wash off whatever is there on your skin, and that means the odor will also go. But if the working condition is such that it is not possible, and nowadays I know that the younger generation is using it very frequently, but I'll discourage to a certain point, unless it is a real social requirement. But not taking bath and using deodorant is absolutely
not the answer. Correct. Absolutely. Well, let's see what our next viewer has to say. This is Pragya from Uttar Pradesh. So Pragya, can you hear me please?
हाँ, यस मैम, मुझे एक क्वेश्चन पूछना है कि अक्सर धूप में जाने की वजह से मुझे हेडेक और एसिडिटी बहुत हो जाती है, तो इसके लिए क्या रेमेडी है?
गुड क्वेश्चन. यस डॉक्टर वासु. हेडेक एंड एसिडिटी.
प्रज्ञा जी, धूप में जाने से एसिडिटी या हेडेक होना बहुत लोगों को होता है, तो इसका थोड़ा ध्यान रखिए. धूप में जाने, अगर आपको, पहला तो ये कि अवॉइड कीजिए धूप में जाना, लेकिन अगर आपको लगता है कि धूप में जाना आपके लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है तो पानी खूब पीते रहिए. और उन दिनों, जिन दिनों धूप ज़्यादा है और आपको धूप में जाना पड़ता है, वो सब चीज़ें जो एसिडिटी बढ़ाती हैं, जैसे ज़्यादा चाय पीना, ज़्यादा कॉफ़ी पीना, ज़्यादा मिर्च मसाले का सेवन करना, उन सब चीज़ों से थोड़ा बचिए. इससे आपको हेल्प मिलेगी. थोड़ी बहुत दवाइयाँ भी होती हैं जो डॉक्टर्स बता देते हैं कई बार एसिडिटी कम करने के लिए. डेफिनेटली ये हेडेक आपका उस एसिडिटी से ही रिलेटेड है. उसके लिए एक इम्पॉर्टेंट बात इनके लिए मैं बताना चाहूँगा, उस हेडेक के लिए आप कोई पेन किलर मत लीजिएगा. देखा गया है कि धूप में जाने से जो एसिडिटी होती है वो हेडेक करती है, और अगर उस एसिडिटी को हम कंट्रोल कर लेते हैं तो ऑटोमेटिकली हेडेक भी डिसअपीयर हो जाता है. लेकिन अगर उस हेडेक के कारण कोई पेन किलर लेता है तो एसिडिटी बढ़ जाती है उसके कारण.
Okay, so these are interrelated.
So they are yeah.
All right, all right.
And also, you know, she can wear a hat.
Correct.
She goes out.
Yeah,
should wear a
or
hat.
or something.
Wear a hat, cover her head.
Yeah.
That will help out. And then she should stay in the shade at times. When you're walking in the sun, you stay in the shade for a while. That helps out. You should try and exercise this way. It will really help her out.
We have another viewer. This is Anil Bhatnagar from Rajasthan. So Anil, welcome to the show.
थैंक यू सो मच.
Yes, please go ahead.
मेरी प्रॉब्लम ये है कि मैं मॉर्निंग और इवनिंग वॉक करता हूँ. आई एम 67 ईयर ओल्ड. तो जब मैं वॉक करता हूँ तो बीच में ड्राई माउथ है या एग्जॉस्ट हो रहे हैं, तो बीच में पानी पीना चाहिए या नहीं, या ओआरएस का पानी पीना चाहिए, और शाम को वॉक करनी है या नहीं?
I think that's a very good question. Dr. Saili, would you like to take that?
Yeah, while he's walking around, if he feels the mouth gets dry, he should have some water. ORS is not a good option. ORS should be had only when there is a loss of the salts through the GIT. Otherwise, ORS can also cause problems. So one should be very careful about the ORS taking in. But yes, he can have lots of water and while he's walking, in the moment his mouth becomes dry, he should have water. And so far as the walk is concerned, he should walk in the evening. That's a better option than walking in the daytime. Early morning or in the evening, that's the best time for walks, and I think that should remain fine. And it's good luck to him for 67. He's doing
Absolutely,
such a
absolutely.
wonderful, very wonderful. It's very good.
That's right.
I will just add to
Yeah.
that fortunately the sweat is hypotonic. There is some loss of salt in sweat, but very little, 1/5 or 1/4 of the normal what we have in our system. So it is basically, I just add that water alone is good enough. Unless there is diarrhea or vomiting, you don't need ORS.
Right. Well, another viewer from Rajasthan, this is Dinesh Yadav. So Dinesh Yadav, welcome to Healthy India.
जी नमस्कार।
नमस्कार जी, कहिए।
जी मैम, मेरी आंखों में थोड़ा सा इन्फेक्शन हो गया था, तो मैंने डॉक्टर को भी दिखाया था। तो उसके पश्चात मुझे धुंधला दिखाई पड़ता है और पढ़ाई में भी थोड़ा सा रुकावट आती है, तो क्या करना चाहिए मुझे?
ओके। धुंधला दिखाई पड़ता है, इसका गर्मी से कोई लेना देना है कि नहीं, ये तो मुझे नहीं पता है, लेकिन डॉक्टर बासु आप उन्हें कुछ जवाब देना चाहेंगे?
सिर्फ एक लाइन में जवाब दूंगा यादव जी आपको कि अपने डॉक्टर के पास वापस जाइए और अपनी आंखों का इलाज करवाइए।
राइट, आई थिंक वही उनका जवाब है। ऑलराइट, टॉकिंग ऑफ एक्सरसाइजेज एंड ऑल, डॉक्टर बासु, नाउ वेरी राइटली वी हैड अ जेंटलमैन कॉलिंग अस हु वाज 67 years old. Now these days you find even older people, you know, going out into the park sometimes in the morning, maybe a little late, and the evening, because evenings are also not all that cool, as they say, as we know. So are there any particular precautions that the elderly must take if they are outside at any time of the day?
Incidentally, Lottie, because of cardiovascular changes at that age, compromised cardiovascular system and other our autonomous nervous system that is slightly blunted at old age, elderly people, they are more susceptible to damage because of heat stress as such. But no doctor will advise against doing a normal exercise. The precautions what elderly should take while exercising is exercise in an environment which has got less of relative humidity, which has got a controlled temperature if possible, maybe using an air conditioned gym or indoor exercises. Outdoor exercises may be planned like nowadays, I will say nowadays early in the morning when the temperature is slightly pleasant, or in the late evening hours when the sun has gone down. And if elderly people, they are not suffering from any like heart disease or uncontrolled hypertension, then even walk after dinner is also preferable.
Right.
Say they take dinner say at about 7 o'clock, 7:30. At 8:30 or 9 o'clock, they go for a walk. That will be time suited for them. They should not walk in the dark. If anything happens, they should not go to a place where if anything happens to them, they are not noticeable.
Correct.
They should be easily pointed out. If sometimes they get fainted or something happens to them, the help should be a stone throw away from where they are. They should carry enough drinking water in person.
Right.
They should not depend upon ki, okay, if I'll have a water requirement, I'll purchase a bottle from here or there. Suppose there is no water vendor where the water is not available.
Or at that point.
So at least half or 1 liter of water they should carry in person while walking. And as Dr. Sally pointed out, just carrying plain water is sufficient.
That's right. Right. Well, we have another viewer from Gujarat. This is Yash Modi. So, Mr. Modi, welcome to the show.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, good evening to you.
Yes, ma'am. I have a question. मेरा question था कि ये हमें गर्मी में भी कई बार सर्दी और जुकाम क्यों हो जाते हैं, जैसे कि ठंडा पानी पी लिया या कुछ केला वेला बनाना कुछ खा लिया, तो गर्मी में भी जुकाम या सर्दी होने का क्या रीजन हो सकता है जी?
इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन. यस यस,
मैंने बताया आपको कि वायरसेस होते हैं कुछ, जैसे पैरा इन्फ्लुएंजा वायरसेस जो होते हैं, ये वायरसेस ये बहुत ज़्यादा रैम्पेंट होते हैं इस मौसम में, गर्मी के मौसम में. तो ये पैरा इन्फ्लुएंजा वायरस है, ये वायरस ही ये सारी गड़बड़ करता है, जो जुकाम देता है और ये सारी रेस्पिरेटरी इन्फेक्शन देता है. तो इसलिए ऐसी बात नहीं है कि सर्दी में ही होंगे. ये वायरसेस जो हैं ये गर्मी में भी वायरस ये वाले आते हैं और इसकी वजह से होता है. और इसमें आपको सफाई रखनी चाहिए, हाथ अच्छी तरह धोएं और साफ खाना खाएं, सफाई रखें, हाइजीन का केयर करें, तो आपको ये कम हो जाएगा और ये अच्छा रहेगा.
और थोड़ा सा मैं इसमें और ऐड करूंगा. जैसे डॉक्टर सैली ने बताया, मेन कॉज तो वायरसेस है, बट कुछ कंडीशंस ऐसी भी होती हैं जिसे हम नॉर्मल भाषा में सरद गर्म बोलते हैं कि चेंज ऑफ टेम्परेचर से कईयों को एलर्जी होती है.
right.
तो अगर आप बाहर से एकदम बहुत हॉट एटमॉस्फेयर से आए और सडनली आपने को ठंडा पानी पी लिया, तो दैट चेंज ऑफ टेम्परेचर, दैट मोमेंट एक वेजोमोटर रिएक्शन होता है किसी में, वो एलर्जिक और थोड़ा सा स्टफीनेस ऑफ नोज, छींक आना, आंखें लाल होना, वो उस समय वो होता है, इसलिए यूजली अवॉइड करना चाहिए उन चीज़ों को।
And then the dehydration per se, it causes dryness of the nasal mucosa. So somebody is having running nose, it will get increased if he doesn't take enough water.
Right.
So all these factors may play a role.
Okay. Well, another viewer from Maharashtra now. This is Parth. So Parth, welcome to the show.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening to you.
Huh?
Yes, go ahead, Parth.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
I have a question. Yes, go ahead, Parth. I have a question that which is suitable time for play in morning or in evening?
All right, I think I've got your question and you've not lowered the volume of your TV set. So I'm afraid I'll have to drop your call right here, Parth. So you all don't listen when I tell you that lower the volume of your TV set. Otherwise, your voice echoes. So you wanted to know what is the best time for you to play outside. So I'll give this to the dermatologist. Yes.
Yeah, the voice says that he's a young boy.
Yes, he's a very small boy.
and wants to go out for playing. Already we have mentioned that the peak time, 11 to 4 or 5, when there is direct sun rays and as well as the temperature will be at highest, that should be avoided. So either if it is a holiday, then morning is fine or late evening is fine. And even in morning and evening, they must carry a water bottle with them, because that is important. Playing is fine, it is good for health, but then getting dehydration is not good. So the only additional thing they have to do, and they must wear loose clothes, that is also important.
Correct.
So depending on the type of games or play, they must choose accordingly that the sweating happens.
Right.
As far as early in the morning.
Yes.
As far as possible.
So if Parth is watching,
As far as possible, they should play in the shade.
yeah.
Should not play in directly in the sun. Shade really makes a difference.
Right.
That will make a
So
lot of
Parth,
difference.
can you hear this? So all three doctors have taken your question and answered this. One, you can play, but not in extreme heat. So which means get up early in the morning and go out and play, and either you play in the evening, and as the dermatologist said, please wear only cotton clothes. So this is not only for Parth, it is also for the other children who are watching. Well folks, time for us to slip into yet another break in the program, but we are coming back very quickly, so do stay tuned. Welcome back. This is Healthy India, and today we are talking about heat-related illnesses. So doctors here are telling us as to how to keep ourselves away from the heat, how to save ourselves, and also get about our daily activities. So if you still have a question that's related to this condition, this is your time to pick up the phone and call us at 1800115314 and 23035420. Having said that, we have a caller again from Rajasthan. This is Akshay. So Akshay, welcome to the show.
Thank you, ma'am.
Please go ahead.
Ma'am, first of all, I want to thank to all the doctors who came in the show. And ma'am, I have 3 questions to ask.
3 questions. Okay. Very quickly.
My first question is that then in nowadays, in summer days, whenever I going outside of my home, whenever it is a huge hot day, then my skin getting dark and darker than darker.
Right.
And many times I'm getting pimples, and उन pimples के अंदर थोड़ा मवाद भी आ जाता है, and that kind of problems I'm facing in nowadays. And my second question is, I'm a 19-year-old and I'm regularly going for jogging in morning. But when I start run and when I complete 2 or 3 kilometers, I'm getting tired. So I just want to get a solution about that.
All right. Thank you for those questions. So we are going to take all of them. So yes, the tanning question goes to the dermatologist. So he's getting tanned.
Yeah, and he is 19-year-old and getting acne also, pimples.
Yes.
And pimples are in all seasons in this age group. This is the age group where he'll get. So he should not apply any cream-based thing, because that aggravates pimples. And cleaning with normal soap is important, because that cleans the secretion of sebaceous gland, which causes acne. And also the cleaning is important in summer. I would just like to emphasize that normal non-medicated soaps are good enough. There is no need for any medicated soap.
Right.
Soap is not antibacterial in the sense where, it's like antibiotic. It just rinses with with water, whatever dirt, dust, bacteria, commensal.
So which means all these advertisements which they so Dr. Khetan, you put today the deodorant people out of business. You are now putting the soap people out of business, the sunscreen people out of business.
Most of these things have made life complicated without much of advantage.
Correct.
And losing a lot of money. So wherever certain things are required, one may use, but not all. So I'm just trying to emphasize. And coming back to tanning, tanning is a transient phenomenon, and it recedes back when the person is under the shade for some time. So tanning is a protective mechanism by skin, and it becomes normal after few days. So one should not worry about that. But if one is very conscious about tanning, then one should cover with whatever way it is possible. It's a hat or clothing or full sleeve clothes or high collar, whatever. So, but one should not use anything for tanning.
Dr. Arvind, he had one more question. He said that he gets tired these days just after running for about a couple of kilometers.
That happens in the summers when you start running, then you lose a little more water than you normally lose, and that tends to dehydrate the body. And this leads to some amount of weakness and some amount of tiredness. So what he needs to do is he needs to have a lot of water. So even while running, he should just hold on for a while, have some water, and then take off again. That will reduce his tiredness. And this will happen only in summers, and once the winter sets in, he will be absolutely fine. So there's nothing to worry at all about this phenomenon.
Right. So Akshay, I think all your questions have been answered here by the doctors. Now, Dr. Basu, now let's talk about the food. We talked about fruits and everything, or even before that, let's just talk of the juices that are available on the roadside. Again, sugarcane juice is very popular at this time, the orange juice and the Mosmi juice and what have you. So are these good enough, or one should again avoid these from the roadside?
See, Lottie, again, the answer is similar, like cut fruits, oblique juices, I will say.
Yes.
As far as sugarcane juice is concerned, what I have observed is, I have seen practice amongst a group of people, and that really impressed me.
Okay.
There were a couple of my friends, they used to take sugarcane juice in a container, and they used to take back to the home, boil it, cool it in refrigerator, and then drink it.
Oh, really?
So that practice really impressed me.
Okay.
So as far as sugarcane juice is concerned,
did you try it yourself or not?
I'm not very fond of.
Okay, so which means you were not really that impressed, it shows. Anyway, you can go ahead.
So with sugarcane juice you can do that thing. And as far as juices of other citrus fruits or pineapple they are concerned, better to install those things in your own kitchen or in your own house. Take wholesome fruit, peel them, wash them, peel them, cut them, and then squeeze them to get a glass of juice for you.
I'm skeptical about this sugarcane juice, because there's so many flies around there.
Exactly.
I'm sure the flies also, they're part of the juice in there.
Absolutely.
So I think one has to be very skeptical about
it. And this is something which you can't really do at home.
I know.
Or at least I do not know of a way of how to extract juice, of sugarcane at home.
Yeah, and it's more question of hygiene and cleaning the fruit or sugarcane, rather than these are good things. Orange juice is good thing, why not? But then how do you maintain on roadside? That is the question.
That is the question.
That is the concern.
Absolutely. Okay, Dr. Khetan, last question to you. Now, talking about the food, these are the fruits and juices. Very quickly, that are there certain foods which are a complete no-no in the heat, which would affect, say, our skin or our hair or anything like that?
Well, for that matter, in all seasons you need to have a balanced diet, and during summer you have to add more water in that, and all the seasonal fruits which you take at home, whether it is watermelon or they contain a lot of water, and if you go by the season, the summer fruits water content is more, and the perennials,
so nature really takes care of everything.
Takes care of that. And as Dr. Basu said, that those foods which create more acidity should be avoided. So otherwise I don't think there is anything else. Maybe a little bit of more sugar, carbohydrate, sugar intake along with water helps in instant energy as muscle cramps and exhaustion. So little bit of addition of those things are important perhaps.
Right. And now what is going to be your take home message for the people today?
So the prevention starts from three things. The ambient temperature should be optimum as far as possible. Clothes should be taken care properly, in the sense that weather appropriate clothing, not fashion appropriate clothing. And the third thing, lot of water. I mean, these are the basic things. And whenever one feels exhaustion or any abnormal symptoms, one should consult a doctor, because coming to the stage of heat syncope and heat stroke can be risky. So one should not avoid. And just taking rest and water sometimes help. If it doesn't help, then one should consult a doctor.
Yes, yes, Dr. Seli, you want to say anything at the end?
Summertime is fun time, and one should really enjoy the summer. Enjoy it with all the fruits,
and ice cream,
and ice creams, but have them at home, and be aware of the heat, and be particular about not going out in the sun, and play well, eat well, and live well, but do it in moderation.
Moderation. I think that's a very good message. Yes, Dr. Basu.
Lottie, one thing I wanted to point out is there is a confusion about how much water we should drink.
Right.
But I will like to give a message is just observe the color of your urine. If it is slightly darker, you are taking less of water. So urine should be very light yellow in color in any season. So that should be your guide of how much water you should intake, rather than giving you a fixed. So
right. I think that's another important point that has gone across. Well, before we go, let's take a look at these graphics. These are some points that you need to remember.
Heat-related illnesses: heat stroke, heat exhaustion, heat cramps, heat syncope, heat rash. Symptoms of heat stroke: high body temperature, absence of sweating, with hot red or flushed dry skin, rapid pulse, difficulty in breathing, strange behavior, hallucinations, confusion, agitation, disorientation, seizure, coma. Treatment for heat stroke victims: move the person to a shady area and remove the person's clothing. Cover the person with a wet sheet, which must be kept wet. Fan the person with paper or an electric fan. Place ice packs under armpits and groin. Continue giving this first aid until the temperature drops to 101 degrees Fahrenheit or until the body feels cool to the touch. Sips of water, fruit juice or a soft drink should be given if the person is conscious.
Well, now, as you know, I'm going to leave my address for you so that you can write into me with all your feedback. So this is where you need to write.
Healthy India, FB 116, Lok Sabha Television, Parliament Library Building, Parliament House, New Delhi 110001. Email healthlstv@gmail.com, and our toll-free number is 1800115314.
And now it's time for me to thank my guests for coming here and for having such an interesting discussion today. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Lottie.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot.
So, well, folks, I think one of the doctors said it, that summertime is fun time, provided you know how to make it fun time. Take care of yourselves, don't go out when it is extreme hot, and see to it that whatever exercise or anything, the walk that you have to do, either go early in the morning or go late in the evening, carry water with you. And as Dr. Khaitan said, that the answer to beating the heat cannot be perfumes and deodorants and medicated soaps. Just use your common sense. Don't just buy these products over the counter like sunscreen, sunblocks, because they're not really going to help you as much as you're made to believe. Just keep yourself hydrated properly, take a shower once, twice or even thrice, as he said. And the other thing is that please avoid the cut fruits that you get on the roadside, because for all you know, you could be catching infections. And eat properly, don't eat very heavy meals, to take liquids as far as you can, and I think you should be fine. And as far as clothing is concerned, only cotton clothes, cover yourselves, carry an umbrella if you must, maybe a cap or a hat or a dupatta, but just don't go out when it is not required, and maintain the temperatures as far as you can, because that may not always be possible, but you can still do some intelligent thinking and take care of yourselves. Well, folks, that's all we have for you, but do remember, enjoy this weather, have your mangoes and your ice creams and your other citrus fruits, and I'm sure summer is fun time.